Evolution by Kaitlyn Martinez. So evolution is basically the change in population, species, or species group. It's the frequency of traits passed down in a generation. For example, Dumbo and his mom, she has a trunk, he has a trunk. She probably has rough skin, he probably has rough skin. The things that cause these traits are alleles. They're basically genetic codes that decide morphology, physiology, and behavior of an animal. For evolution, we need evidence. One of the types is paleontology, which is the study of fossils. It shows us how animals have changed over time. Another is biogeography, which uses geography to describe the distribution of a species. This shows us that species look alike when they live in different parts of the world, but they have similar habitats. Embryology is the similar stages in development. Ontogeny, which is among related species. Comparative anatomy is two kinds of structures that contribute to the identification of evolutionary relationships among species. Long story short, there's homologous structure, which occur when animals have evolved from a common ancestor, but have body parts that resemble one another. Analogous is when different species have similar body parts because they evolved in similar habitats. Natural selection is the difference between survival and reproduction, and how organisms interact with their environment. Some animals have alleles that generate traits or phenotypes that help them cope with the environment more successfully. Animals that are more successful produce more offspring, and they adapt to have superior traits, which increases their fitness, or their ability to reproduce and survive. Natural selection only works on phenotypes that are already present in a population. It selects phenotypes that maximize the fitness of an organism, and it does not create new phenotypes or mutations. Types of selection. Artificial selection is when animals are bred to have desirable traits or seeds are sown to have desirable traits. You've probably heard of this example among dog breeding. Sexual selection is when females make love with a bunch of different guys to increase the quality of their offspring. So stabilizing selection is when traits that don't help fitness are eliminated. Directional selection is when traits that are at one extreme or range of traits are favored. Disruptive selection is when traits that are extremely unusual are favored. The purpose of reproductive isolation is to maintain barriers and prevent gene flow. The two prevention factors are prezygotic and postzygotic. Prezygotic meaning before fertilization and postzygotic meaning after fertilization. Habitat isolation is when animals don't even see each other. Temporal is when animals mate in different seasons. Behavioral is when mating partners don't recognize the other partner's mating ritual. Mechanical is when it's physically impossible for animals to mate with one another. And gametic is when animals can't survive in the female's environment. For postzygotic, hybrid inviability is when the baby that is produced dies. Hybrid sterility is when the offspring can't reproduce. Hybrid breakdown is when the offspring has very low fertility and viability factors. Variation is a key factor to natural selection. Mutations rearrange existing alleles into new combinations. So if Dumbo has really, really big ears, that's mutation because all the other elephants don't have huge ears. Sexual reproduction creates individuals with a new combination of alleles.